Okay, hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rakar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. I didn't really have a specific title in mind for this video. It was basically like multiple. It was basically like multiple subjects, but I wanted to speak on one little thing that happened today, or basically a guy I talked to, because in my spare time, I play. I'm just on a game, playing a little game, basically. I was doing that for a little bit. And I met this dude on there who's a federal, or is a guy that I've known for a little bit, who's a federal agent. And he's a part of the people that like work against terrorists and things like that. And we got on the subject of like human sex trafficking and things like that. And, since he's in that field, he knows a lot about it. It basically was brought to my attention that like human sex trafficking is huge. They bring in like 30 plus billion a year, more than Starbucks and all these other corporations. And he was telling me of how big it was and what they do, and he was telling me that they basically, they'll kidnap the person, they'll drug them. All right. They'll have them tossed around a few times, like sexually. And then they'll, while they're drugged, they'll like transport them to different states or outside the country, and by that point, their mind is mentally broken. All right. So then they can be brought in public and they'll be so scared that they won't try to break free or loose, but it basically goes to show you that we are still in captivity and we are still in hell. All right. Because people try to say that, life is good and you just got to be positive and you gotta do the best you can. Ultimately, you're supposed to care about your people. We as a people, the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, are the Israelites, the chosen people of God. You're supposed to care about your people. So just because you're doing well doesn't mean that you should be fine in life. All right. Just because you might make as much money as Michael Jordan, you still got your own people still being sold into actual slavery. People are still being put in chains on a human trafficking. All right, by way of human trafficking. All right. It's a very big deal that happens. All right. If you don't know, human trafficking is the business of stealing freedom for profit. In some cases, traffickers trick, defraud, or physically force victims into providing commercial sex. In others, victims are lied to, assaulted, threatened, or manipulated into working under inhumane, illegal, or otherwise unacceptable conditions. So that's slavery with the chains. We always say that we're not in physical slavery anymore. We're in mental slavery, because we are. But people are still being sold in actual slavery, physical slavery. So we got to get out of this condition that we are in as a people. All right, because it's Jake being sold into slavery. All right, because they want us. These so-called white people, they want us. All right, who wouldn't want a big, strong black man or a good-looking so-called black woman or Native American, all right, or Hispanic woman? All right, and of course, I'm not saying there's not some Edomites sold into it, but it just goes to show you that we are still in a low condition and it's not getting any better. All right, now I had this. Deuteronomy 7:6, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So this is who we are supposed to be as a people, right? This is why it's so important that we get out of this state and this mental slavery that the so-called white man has us in, because we're supposed to be a holy people. When you look at that word holy, it's Kodash, meaning separate. So we're supposed to be a separate people unto the Lord. All right. The scripture saying in the Apocrypha that these nations are likened unto spittle and that the world was created for us. So we're supposed to be rulers of this world. We're supposed to be the greatest people on this planet. But as you see and you look around, we are put in an extremely low estate to the point that Jake still thinks they're free. None of us are free. No matter if we're in human trafficking or not, we're still in slavery. We still got to pay taxes. All right. So this is why you should want to escape America. Or not, it's like, let me not say that. This is why you should want to you should want, you should want the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be comfortable in the situation you're in. No matter if the Lord has you a good paying job, because Jake is still out there suffering. You just can't see it, but Jake is still out there suffering. All right? Because you got something called, let me see. Give me a second. Basically, we got something called the dark net, which is like 90% of the internet. Right now you only use like 91. I mean, you only use like 10% of the actual information that's acceptable. And the dark net, they actually sell people on there. All right, they actually sell humans. All right, on the dark net. So human trafficking is very real. All right, you got Jake still being sold in chains. You got our woman still being sold as sex slaves. All right. Esau's still wicked because Esau runs this. Esau runs the dark net. The government runs the dark net, and they run the human sex trafficking. Or where do you think all these people are being taken for? All right. Do you not know that the elites, the Rothschilds, the elite bankers of the society, they perform rituals in which they sacrifice children? What children do you think they're sacrificing? They're sacrificing Israelites. All right. They take Israelites and they eat them. All right. They extract their blood. Okay. And they drink their blood. All right. So we gotta escape out of this world. This world is full of nothing but wickedness. All right. This world is full of nothing but wickedness. Okay. Let me get another scripture. Let me see. And I know it's a basic scripture, but we still got to get it because this proves it anymore. Job 9:24, the earth is given in the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So, as I was talking to that federal agent, in which I really do believe he was one, because I've talked to him for a few times, all right, and he knows a lot of information, and I can just tell. I can tell. But as I was talking to him, and I already knew about everything that goes on. So I was like, yeah, it seems like a lot of elites run it, like top politicians, top judges and stuff. I was like, I believe they have a hand in it as well. And he was like, yeah, they do. It's crazy. This place is crazy. It's very, very serious that goes on. So the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. This is how we know the scripture is true. Because the top elites of this world are the ones that are governing this wickedness, and they allow it to be. The top judges, all right, you can put a certain hand signal up when you're in court, and the judge will have to rule in your favor. All right, I heard that 90% of these cops are Freemasons. So this whole legal system is run by the wicked. This is how we know that Esau, Edom, you so-called white people, are the wicked. All right, because y'all are the sick, twisted, demented ones that are letting this stuff keep going on. All right, and this is why Jake, you as a so-called black or a Latino or the Native American or anyone else who believes in this truth, this is why you shouldn't be conformed to this world. That you should hate this place every single day by hearing stuff like this. All right, that we're still in freaking slavery. All right. These are real basic scriptures, but they really hit the point for me, in this subject, all right? Because at the end of the day, it might sound like, all the stuff I'm saying, yeah, it's crazy and it's messed up, but at the end of the day, you got to see the light. You got to understand that the Lord, first of all, this is judgment, all right? These people that are being sold in the human sex trafficking and anything that happens, It's simply judgment from the Lord. All right. So you can't get all upset about it. You know, you should be upset that it's happening, but at the end of the day, you should know that this is the Lord judging these people. All right. Any Israelites that might be found in this. All right. The Lord obviously did not want them, and he's judging them. Because nobody who's a part of the elect's going to be put in this madness. All right. The Lord has a hedge around us. He has his angels protecting us. So first of all, you cannot drive yourself crazy. You got to understand that the Lord is doing this to the wicked of our people. All right. And you got to also understand that we're, at the end of the day, we're going to receive, we're going to get payback on our enemies. All right. Like that James Brown song, Revenge. We're going to get revenge. And this is a scripture to prove it. All right. An irrefutable scripture, Revelation 13. And let me start at Revelation 13 and 10. Let me start at 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. And this is talking about spiritual ears, because everybody has ears for the most part. All right. Everybody has ears. So if you have your spiritual ears, all right, let you hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And we obviously know what captivity is. That's slavery. So who is in slavery right now? Who was led into slavery? All right. You got tribe of Judah by way of ships. All right. The Native Americans, they came over here and took this land. The so-called white people came over here and took this land. So we are in captivity. Us as a people, us Israelites as a people, and even more so, Jake is still being sold in like physical bondage. Hardcore bondage is still being, as we speak, going on around the world. So he that leadeth into captivity, you so-called people, white people, and you other nations too, had a hand in our captivity. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So y'all are going to be put in slavery too. All right, when the kingdom of heaven comes, you so-called white people are going to be put in chains for 1,000 years. Then after that 1,000 years, we're going to have a big bonfire. We're going to burn you up. But during that 1,000 years, y'all are going to go into, I'm talking hardcore slavery. Way worse than what you did to us. Because the scriptures say that we're going to do double unto you than what you did to us. And that's in Revelation 18. All right. So you nations and you Edomites, during that first 1,000 years, we're going to be on y'all ass hardcore. All right. We're going to be whooping you every day. All right. Feeding you dirt. All right. Taking your woman, because that's what y'all did to us. And that's what y'all are still doing to this day. All right. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. All right. So Jake is still being shot out in the streets. All right. So at the end of the day, we're going to receive we just got to wait on the Lord, wait for all hell to break loose. Because when I hear stuff like this in the world, this would have made me want to, like get into the government and get into that dude's job, that position he was in, because he fights against that stuff, a federal agent or whatever he is. He knows, and he's fighting against all that stuff. So in the world, I might have wanted to get into that field just to stop all this, because it really aggravates. It pains me to see my people being treated like this. But that's when you're not in the truth. All right. You don't know what we know. All right. Now that I'm in the truth, I understand. Yeah, it still pains me. But at the end of the day, that's judgment. And at the end of the day, the Lord is going to pay back our enemies way more than what we could do. All right. Because we might have just shoot them in the head. The Lord's going to give our enemies a gruesome and terrible death. The worst death, their worst fear is going to befall them. So all we have to do is wait upon the Lord. And that's how we're going to get our great revenge. All right. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. And we know the saints, according to the scriptures, are the Israelites. All right. So at the end of the day, Israelites, we're going to get our payment. All right. As long as we have patience and faith in Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, and those names. All right, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash, none else. As long as we have faith and patience in those names, the Lord is going to recompense. He's going to pay back our enemies. All right, we're going to get payback. All right, but with that, Lord willing, you are edified. All right, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. All right, hey, shalom. All right, stay strong.